Welcome to our Monday Power Hour, February 9th, with just Katelyn and Clare today. Carly is in Mexico for Sanik's 40th birthday celebration. I think he's with some friends from high school, and they're all 40th birthday.
He's prospecting.
He did tell me he's already met a few Americans. He knows them by the state, so he has met friends already. But Super Bowl wasn't his big thing, so I think last time they went away was World Series, which obviously was his favorite. Super Bowl is not his sport.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, who watched the Super Bowl? Anybody? Anybody get past the second half?
I think we left. I was with Varan. We were at the Durham Convention Center, which was kind of fun.
Nice. No, I bet you most people turned off after the halfway show, and then I think that was the end of that. So.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I didn't have any. I don't know, Buffalo was out, so I didn't have any any players in the game. No.
All right. Do you want to start with coaching?
Do you want me to host it, or you want to host it?
You host it today. I need a break.
All right. Okay. So I'll host it. So Kari's not here. So again, February the 9th. Okay. So give me some good news. Tell me what's going on out there.
Crickets.
Crickets.
That would explain it.
Crickets. Right? Who's running buyers right now?
I am.
Okay. Anybody else? Nobody's running buyers?
Not one person. Sorry,
Okay.
not
Yeah,
two people.
Just one? Okay. So and what? I'm curious. Okay, those that are not working with buyers. Okay, let's stick to you first then. Okay, your buyer. What are they looking for?
One's looking. Actually, two of them are both looking for condos.
Whereabouts?
One in Vaughan, and the other one I have a meeting on Wednesday, so I'm not sure yet. But I have a feeling it's also more west.
Okay. Good. All right. So condos. Looking for condos. What price range?
One's 700, and the other one, again, we have a meeting on Wednesday.
700 in the West.
That should be a good
so,
price
so
point.
that's fine. Now, and these people are renting right now, or
No, she has a house. She's
so they're downsizing, or okay, she's older, or she's
middle-aged, but it's going through a separation.
okay. That's good. All right. So
The divorce condo.
the triple D's, right? Okay, that's good. So nobody else is working with buyers. So the people that are not working with buyers, do you have any buyers that are what on hold, or they're waiting, or what are they doing? Anything? Like what? Do you have any clients that are thinking about buying and holding off? Anybody here? No? Okay, let's talk about sellers. Who's got a listing right now they can't sell?
Buyers, in my experience, is a couple of buyers, but not getting the property what they.
So there's 19,000 listings out there, so they can't find the property that they want?
I think everybody's in the range of 1.2, 1.3, but and they obviously want rentable, stable, in a good condition. So that is where the challenge is.
Yeah, everyone wants move-in ready right now, right? No one wants to spend money on renovations.
We have put two offers, 1.2. Client didn't accept, seller didn't accept the offers, and now everybody is coming back. Seller is ready to sign. My buyer is saying no.
Interesting.
Because they've already moved on. They saw some more property.
So how many times have we seen that? I mean, this is not a new story where the buyer puts in a property. In this case here, $1.2 million. The seller wanted more money, and then the deal didn't go through. And then a week later goes by, and then the seller comes back to the buyer. Says, "Okay, my guy, we'll look at your 1.2 now." And the buyer says, "See you later, Charlie." Right? So it's so true, and you got to strike the iron when it's hot, right? You can't be, you got to deal with it right there.
You also can't be mean as a listing agent on that first buyer either, right? A lot of agents are getting upset and ruining the relationship with it. It's just saying sorry, no, and then they're coming back with their tail between their legs.
We are having so many showings.
Yeah.
So we feel that seller feel will get the better offer.
And we've seen that too, right? Somebody gets an offer on the Friday, and they got two more showings on the Saturday. They want to wait till the Saturday to see what's going on with the showings before they seriously consider your offer, right?
Yeah.
And I think in my case, one of my buyers is upset because the communication from the listing agent was very rude.
That's what I'm saying. The rudeness is not helping.
He's saying, well, I don't want to.
Yeah.
How many times have we said to everybody here, like you're dealing with the agent on the other side, you should be friends. You should be on the same side. You should be trying to get this thing through. You're trying to get a sale here. I mean, why is everybody fighting? Why
The amount of rudeness I've seen has increased on both sides because no one's meeting, but it doesn't help anybody because you're just going to bring it back to your clients too, and then everyone is against each other, not for each other.
Yeah, like we should try to find ways to solve the situation, not point fingers why it's not happening, right? So that's a part of negotiations.
Yeah.
So I was talking to an agent the other day, or the other agent talked to me, I guess. Client phoned them up and said, okay, I want to come talk to me about the market. I want to think about making a move maybe in the spring here. Maybe come and talk to me, right? So they go talk to them, and he explains to them, just looking at the market watch. Hopefully you guys do this as well. I'm going to paraphrase, of course, but Mr. Seller here, just so you know what's going on here. I know you want to wait till the spring, but let me tell you what's going on with the market right now. So we've got the average price started in, let's say in September. We got like $1,060,000 in September, $1,053,000 in October, $1,040,000 in November, $1,006,000 in December, and $973,000 in January. What is it you want to wait for?
Prices
You
to
want
go up.
to wait for it to go to 850? Is that what you want to wait for? You understand? Like how do you overcome that logic?
A lot of people are thinking that the spring market is the time. Like that's just sellers are just used to that typical pattern. But I don't think we've had a spring market in a little bit. We didn't have a spring market last year.
So even if you were to have a spring market, I'm talking about sellers now. If you
That's
were
what
to
I mean.
if you were to have a spring market, they're waiting for the spring market for what? They're waiting for the spring market
For all the buyers to come
for
out.
the buyers to come out, and they're the only seller that's thinking like this, right? So all of a sudden now you've got 19,000 active listings. They're going to go up to 30,000 active listings. Now you're competing with everybody else. So it's again the same thing. It doesn't make any sense to me why they want to wait.
No.
Seller, same thing. You got a seller. I'm looking at our listings the other day. We got some properties been in the market for 30 days, 20 days, 60 days, 70, 80 days. What's the motivation for your seller? And are you spending any time with that seller? Is the seller taking any of your time when they have no motivation, right? They want the $1.5 million for their property. It's worth 1.3, but they want their 1.5 because they're still living in the house. And if they sell the house, then they'll buy something else. So that's an unmotivated seller. Right, so it's okay. They can do what they want. It's their house. Hopefully, you're going to get some side calls. You get some business from it, but I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on that type of person. They're not realistic, right? Mm-hmm. You can't argue with numbers. Numbers are very very straightforward. I mean, here it goes, right? Yeah, that's where I see it. So I don't know.
So the conversation is, the people that are saying wait for the spring, you have to show them the numbers and say, I wouldn't wait for the spring, because I think agents are also hesitant because we're not sure if the prices will go down, and then we're scared to tell them that the prices are going to go down when what if they do go up. But I don't think they're going to go up, but there's a fear, I think, amongst agents' confidence as well, right?
Yeah, so we've always said this 100 times. So as long as you're buying and selling in the same market, it makes no difference. So if you're selling low, you're buying low. If you're selling high, you're buying high.
What if they're just selling?
And if they're just selling, then what's the motivation to sell? They're just selling because they want to move to Mexico, right? So what, they're going to delay that move for what, like 2, 3, 4%, right?
Yeah.
That's all the difference, right? So it's really not much. So anyway, so you kind of use the stats. We give you the stats here. You kind of use them to your advantage, right? And you work it from there. Let's go into this. Okay, let's do January stats. Okay, January stats here. So we've got right now, we had 3,082 sales. Is that high or low? We're going to do a little test here. Is 3,082 high or low for a month? Is it low?
Very low.
Okay. So if you took 3,000 sales times 12, that's 36,000 sales for the whole year. How many sales do we have last year? So 3,000 is half what it should be. All right. So the market is quite slow right now, quite a bit. So if you've got properties again that haven't been selling, the market's at that right now. If I look at January again, we've got 10,000 new listings, so it's minus 13%. So if I take the sales to new listings, I'll do it myself. So what's 3 divided into 10? So that's got to be 30%, right? And they say the sales to price ratio anywhere around, 40, 60% is the difference between a buyer's market and seller's market. So it should be about 60% should be sales to new listing ratio, and we're at 30%. Right? So it's quite a bit, again, tells you where we are. We're at a buyer's market. It's definitely firmly a buyer's market. 3,000 sales, 17,000, almost 18,000 active listings. That gives us how much months of inventory? Why do we have 4.5?
I don't know.
Didn't Trib say it was 4.5?
For months of inventory?
Yeah. No, it's 5. No, it's 5. No, yeah, it's 5.5 or so. Yeah, okay, it's 5.
No,
right?
you're right. I have 6 from January.
All right, good. Little tricks, okay? What Treb does, if you look at Treb's months of inventory, they'll say 4.5, but Treb takes a rolling average of an average itself. I prefer to use the actual number itself, which is going to come in
We
around
use
6.
6 as ours.
Yeah, good. Okay, so
And
6.
it's 4.4 last year.
So what is the difference between a buyer's market and a seller's market? What number in months of inventory? What would be the cross line? About 4? Yeah, 4 or 5, right? So if it's 6,
That's a buyer's.
we are in a buyer's market.
It's a great buyer's market.
Now, unfortunately, any agents that are working with buyers, the buyers see this too, and they know that, and that's why the buyers aren't going to give what the seller wants. Right?
Yep.
So you got to be careful. And now, as a buyer's agent, you got to say, look, he's already reduced the price down to 1.2. It's worth 1.2. The last 4 properties sold for 1.2. It's worth 1.2. So going in at 1 million, it's not going to work for you. And how many times have I mentioned this before, where you've worked with the buyer, and it keeps on losing, and they start blaming you instead of themselves, right? And I've
Why
seen that.
aren't you creating a
I've seen that
strategy?
so many times, and we'll get calls. I want to cancel my buyer's agreement. Why do you want to cancel? Because the agent's not working for me. Okay, so here we go. So you better have to tell them the facts, I guess, when you're working with them, and let them make the decision. But understand it's their decision, not yours, right? So you have to be clear with that. Sales themselves, detached. Well, overall sales for January were actually down almost 20%. The detached were down 13.5%. Semis are almost down 20%. Townhouses down 24%. Condos are down 26%. So condos themselves are getting beat up a little bit. Average price. This is the first time. When's the last time you saw the average price come down 6.5%? That was a long time, right? When was the last time we saw average price at 973,000?
That's crazy.
No? 2018. Yeah. 2009 probably. Or no, sorry. For units, okay. Units, by the way, goes back like 27 years or something. Like it wasn't like 2009 was the last time we had that many units. And as far as the price goes, it was, yeah, right, 2021, I think they said it was the average price now. So we're back to 2021?
I think it was the end that last one. I think Kathy was asking me that recently.
2020. So in 2019, the average price was $812. In 2020, pandemic was $926. So we're back to 2021, 2020 prices. So all pre-pandemic. So whatever happened during the pandemic, it's all been washed out. It's all done. So anything that's sold within the last 2, 3, 4 years, forget about that. You always have to look, what did it sell for in 21?
Yep.
All right. Going back to what he said last week, 95% of the public did not buy a house in the last 5 years. They bought it more than 5 years ago. So so there's 95% of the population there bought it at a time when it's cheaper than now. Only 5% of the population bought in 21 and to today. So don't get all wrapped up thinking, gee, everybody's losing money, everybody's this. They're not everybody. All right? And so it's a very, very small percentage. But the way the newspapers do it, they want to think it's the end of the world, right? Average days on the market. Does everybody remember in 2021, 22, if the property was listed on a Friday, it wasn't sold on a Monday, there was something wrong? What's going on? All right, what do you think the average days on the market today is?
45.
And what do you think about the cancel relist months of inventory is? 67 days.
Oh.
So 67 days, and the months of inventory 5 to 1. So it's definitely firmly, in my opinion, buyer's market, right? But it doesn't mean that they're going to give things away. The property has to look right. You have to stage it right. You have to make sure everything's done there right. Toronto unemployment growth. It was actually up 1.7%. Toronto unemployment rate went down to 8%. I think it did nationally too, right? I heard that the other day. Inflation 2.4%, so it's within range. It's not 2%, but it's 2.4%. Bank of Canada rate went to, well, it's 2.3%. Prime rate 4.5. You can get mortgages here. It says 5.84. I think you can probably get better mortgages than that. What's going on in the mortgage world right now, Brian?
You're getting like prime minus 70, 80 on a discount.
And the prime being what? 4.45. They're getting prime minus 70 or 80 basis points.
On insured mortgages, we are seeing closer to prime minus 1.
Okay, so if I can get a 3-year variable mortgage today for 3 point,
An initial mortgage, you can get down to 3.45.
3.45 on a variable and fixed?
Fixed around 3.79 to
3.79, okay. And what's the gut? There's no right answer. Do they go 3-year fixed or 3-year variable? There's no right or wrong answer. It depends on the buyer's comfort zone.
risk tolerance.
Right, so if they think that if they're your risk tolerance. So it depends on the client. There's really no right answer to that. But there we go. Now so that's good news. So again, 19,000. What did I say? 17,000 active listings. Listings are actually up 8%. Sales down 20%. So February 8th, as of last night, we still have 19,000 active listings. 8,900 are condos. 10,000 are freeholds. Vacant still running around 39%. Unfortunately, condominiums are 47% vacant. When did everybody have to do the vacant tax declaration? In May?
April.
No, April. April? Yeah. So something to talk to your clientele about. Something maybe do an Instagram or something on. Talk about, hey, give me a call about your vacant tax if you have any questions. There's something to talk about there too, right? Sales so far for the first 8 days. Last year we had, last February, 1,028. This year, 895. So sales so far down another 13% from February last year. Freeholds down 11 and condos down 16%. I thought this was interesting. Sales over 101%. We have been going around 10% or so have been selling for over asking. Now it's about 18%. Unfortunately, only 14% of condos, but 21% of freeholds that are selling for over asking. So it used to be, I think last week, about 10%, 12%, now it's 20%. So what that means, maybe you guys saw it yourselves. Anybody see any multiple offers in the last week?
A lot.
Right, we're seeing a lot, so we're starting to see that come back. So the strategy seems to be working over 20% of the time. When you price it low, wait for offers. Doesn't work every time, right? But so is anybody? I see some heads here. Were you involved, or you just aware of it?
I saw one in Ajax that was listed at $699 and sold for $900 for a townhome.
Okay.
Or no, $800. Sorry, for a townhome. And there was one West Shore. Do you know how many offers?
I don't know.
Oh, that was the 900 one. What were they listed at? It was $699.
Yeah, sold for 900.
900. That was in the ghetto of Pickering,
So
which was not. It's not the ghetto.
south of 401.
West Shore, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was a bungalow or back split.
So 1950s back split.
Scarborough, they're still going over asking, like they're getting multiples.
Interesting.
At what price range?
We just actually were cold calling a neighborhood this morning in Wexford. It was at $799, sold for $950.
Wow.
We booked a listing appointment with a neighbor for Wednesday to like that.
Was it renovated?
Yeah.
That was the strategy we were talking about last week, is trying to figure out who has offer nates and then try to call the neighborhood and say, hey, they had an offer nate, 10 buyers, lost out, do you want to sell? So you got a listing appointment from it?
Yeah.
Nice. Did you see one too, Kathy?
Yeah, Scarborough property E09, they listed it low, $599, we had 38 offers.
Whoa.
Sold for $700, it needed work.
Yeah.
but
38 offers.
38.
That's too many.
That's
That's too many.
So what was it listed for?
$599.
$599.9, sold for just over $7.
Wow.
And it was what was it?
Just a bungalow?
3-bedroom, side split, needed work.
In Scarborough, you said, or no?
I
E09.
saw it. I didn't.
You know. So for those at home, so it was a Scarborough detached semi or side split listed for $599, sold for
Just over 7.
over 7, but it had 38 offers.
Wow.
So that means there's 37 buyers out there that aren't happy, right? So that means there are buyers out there just for the right
But if
price.
700 won, then there's a lot of buyers in the 600 range probably in Scarborough, which not a lot of bungalows are selling for 600s, I don't think, right now.
I wonder how many of those 38 were investors trying to flip it, trying to create jobs, right? Trying to get some work.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's a thing, right? Multiple
And I don't know
offers
if
are a
that's like
thing.
I notice usually in February bidding wars do pick up a little bit until the spring market hits and then more inventory comes. So I don't know if it's just like a little sweet spot right now that we have. But They don't seem to be going crazy with the prices though still.
Don't like those stats.
Throw it
So
out.
daily, we're doing about 112 daily. So if you extrapolate the 112 daily, it comes out to about 3,133 sales for February. February is a short month. We only got 28 days, so we've lost a couple of days there. Last February we did 4,128. So if it comes in at what did I say, 3,100, it's going to be it's going to be down about 10%. 6.1 months of inventory overall. Freeholds 5.4 months of inventory, and condos 7.2 months of inventory. Who's got condos trying to sell right now? Any condos?
Mm-hmm.
So is it getting action? No action? Is it a new listing or? Okay. So what price? What square foot is it? Sorry.
It's over 800 square feet.
800 and prices
We put it at $499.
499. Okay. It's a parking locker.
Parking is a big lot.
And when's your offer date?
This one.
How many showings?
Yep, I'll
Yeah, good. So there we go. So we see what happens. So it's 800 square foot. Listed for 599. How many
See what
showing? You getting like
happens.
showing a day per day?
Do they have a number that they're expecting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good news is if I take the January 8th sales to February 8th sales are up actually 57%. So it's up. The first 8 days in February are 57% better than the first 8 days in January. But January took us a little while to get cooking anyways, right? But at the end of the day, it didn't happen. Leases, 19,500 leases. There's 8,000 are freehold, 10,000 condo. Vacant, 61% of all these lease properties are vacant. And the leases themselves are actually up 11% from last year, and they're actually up 22% from January. So I think the market's still a bit of a sluggish, in my opinion. It's sluggish, and I think the weather had an effect. We had so much snow and cold, and I think that's affected the market a bit this year so far. That's the stats.
That's the stats.
So somebody here said something here that they did, and I thought you're gonna talk about the train today, or what?
Yeah, you can go for it. Which one were you gonna go? This one?
Do
Training. Okay, so we did the coaching right before this, which was actually kind of similar episode to what we did last week, where he was just talking about if you wanted to find a client today, what would you do? And Aaron's team, actually, you guys just did it, which the number one strategy, believe it or not, is cold calling. So he was just kind of saying if you're going back to your brand new agent and what is the best way to find clients and what is the worst way to find clients. Do you guys know what like the worst way would be? It's up there. Yeah. It's funny. And this is for like a new agent or an agent that needs a deal again today. So like it's not that these strategies don't work. It's just a lot of these strategies cost money and time right now, which a lot of people aren't wanting to do. So yeah, worst is paid inbound. So actually it was direct mail, geo-farming, billboards, commercials.
Those are for new agents, right?
This is for like a new agent or an agent that literally needs to do a deal today. So even as an experienced agent, these are all strategies that do work, but they just cost money and take time. So it's just a relationship thing. So not that they don't work. Sphere of influence, or I guess paid outbound as well, which was like online leads, webinars, like having like a lead magnet, which we do with Agent Locator, where you put up saying what's this house or what's my house worth, fill in your information. Great to get leads, but not great to get a client quick. Sphere of influence. It was funny how he explained it because he's true. So he was saying sphere of influence is like what most agents do rely on, but it's not. There's no activity that will actually result in a deal from it. So you can't say, okay, if I do 11 Valentines, that's going to result in like one client, like those little relationship builders. It's kind of you got to be in the right place at the right time with your sphere of influence to get a deal from them. So it's the best strategy, but it's also hard to rely on this because it's so unpredictable. Unpaid inbound, so that's the content marketing, doing like social media, blogs, Facebook groups, YouTube, open houses, creating content that has a call to action. So he's saying lots of agents that are doing this, like the social media stuff works, but what a lot of agents are doing is throwing up like a Canva template or something that looks pretty but has no like point to it. So again, good strategy, having some sort of call to action, but again, must be consistent and long term. He really went heavy on the referral partners, which might be a good one for you guys. So we always talk about the D's. So like death, Death, divorce, diapers. Those are your top 3 ways to get clients, especially today probably. I would say death is a high one. Probate sales for sure, like in our aging population, and people aren't leaving their houses as quick, as early as they used to. So he was saying one of the best ways is to get in contact with divorce attorneys, insurance people, CPAs, probate attorney. Do we have probate attorneys in Canada? Yeah, I know he's American. There must be, right? Like family lawyers and stuff. So like that was a really good one. He's like, not a lot of agents know to just reach out to the lawyers that are dealing directly. He was saying he's got a lawyer that gives him about 80 to 90% of his clients that come to him for probates. He sends those leads off to the agent. So these are really, and we talk about these all the time, even going into like assisted living places and you're networking with, it's called B2B business. So these are people that you're not directly reaching out to try to find sellers that are dying or anything like that, or people going through divorce. You're going to the people that are working with these clients and you're doing more of a B2B relationship. Same with like mortgage brokers, stuff like that. And he talked a lot about mortgage brokers, do you guys ever get like coffee requests from mortgage brokers? That's probably something you tell your agents to do all the time, Varan. And people, like mortgage brokers are always asking us to get coffee. It's because they know the strategy they're not looking to go directly to a buyer to get a mortgage. They're going directly to the agents that are working with the buyers to then send them to the mortgage agent. So we all have to kind of think outside the box. If we're not finding clients, buyers and sellers, and I think we focus mostly on going directly to the clients to try to find business, but thinking outside the box and going to the bigger people that are working with those types of clients. Like divorces, that's like 3 transactions right there maybe, at least 1 or 2. And then the probate people. So you do have to have some knowledge of these types of transactions as well before you dive in. But if you guys aren't getting direct clients, maybe think about going directly to businesses that have the types of clients you're looking for. And then of course, Claire, you probably love hearing this from this guy, but the number 1 is unpaid outbound, which is finding people that want to sell, going to FSBOs, driving around the areas. I don't think we see it as much, but see if there's any for sale by owners. I see for lease by owners tons in my area. Lots of those like garage sale looking signs. Those would be good people to reach out to the landlord and say, hey, why don't I just put on MLS, or would you think about selling as well, and try to flip the script that way. The other way would be to do the previously listed ones, which are people that maybe had it on the market and didn't sell or something like that. These are people that have shown interest in selling. There's lots of rules to it. I think that's why a lot of agents obviously avoid it, but I think you were going to talk about the strategy too, right?
Well, just you can't identify expired listings on MLS. That's the rule. So you can't use the privacy. So it's the Privacy Act that restricts that. So
it's too bad because it would be a really nice strategy.
But there's no reason why you can't farm. There's no reason why you can't door knock. There's no reason like an area. There's no reason. There's no. As long as you didn't identify that property, that's all. Yeah.
Now there is like agents out there that will do the strategy, and whether this is good or bad, is they'll go up to neighborhoods and say, hey, I have a buyer for your listing or for your house, and that may result in a listing appointment. But you do have to have some sort of sales script to know, well, what if you don't actually have a buyer? You may have sent a letter saying I have buyers, and then you get invited into the home to do a listing presentation, but you're talking about your buyer the whole time, right? And then you leave, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna talk to my buyer, and then you gotta call back and say, sorry, it doesn't work for my buyer, and then you gotta figure out how to flip the script, right? So it is a strategy that a lot of people are doing, sending out letters saying I have a buyer, but you should have it figured out on what you're gonna do when you don't actually have the buyer, right? Is there strategies for this that's legal?
Well, assuming you got into the house,
Hopefully it wasn't ever listed. That would be the legal way. But I got asked this question this week on how do I flip the script now that it doesn't work for the buyer, and then how do I convince them to sell?
I think you have to be honest. You can't just say I've got a buyer for your property here and you don't. I mean, that's number 1, right? So and the clients are smart too, right? Because what the seller's going to say to you got a buyer, bring the buyer, I'll pay you 2.5%, no problem.
And that's what they're saying.
So if you're going to use that script, then you've already sunk yourself, haven't you?
Yes.
So you just say I've got lots of buyers. I may have a buyer for your house, but I haven't seen it yet. Can I come over and have a look at it and see if it matches any of my buyers? And you go there and say, oh, I'm sorry, they don't like this. Haven't got anything but this style here. But if you were going to sell, what would your plans be?
Yeah. So in that case, I think it's really important if you guys are going to do that strategy, you really do need to have a listing presentation like ready to go or some sort of package. Something needs to be in your hand about working with the seller as well to kind of flip it and do it when you're in that presentation as well. You might not want to leave the house and say, let me talk to my buyer, and maybe stay in the house and talk about what you're going to do to sell the home.
I think that goes anything with scripts. The scripts are always the same there. I mean, the client's only going to ask you 3 or 4 different objections, right? So you need to write down what you think those objections are going to be. And like the client's going to say to you, yeah, if you got a buyer, bring in, I'll pay you 2.5%. You know he's going to say that. So what's your answer? What's the script? Anybody want to try? Looking at Bila here. Come on, you got lots of scripts.
Well, like, I will tell them, so if I have a buyer, we won't be getting the best price. Because, and so I'm just getting only 2.5% for the both sides. And I would rather sell some other properties than so.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I would think that the person doesn't know you from Adam. Right? The seller doesn't know you from Adam, so you're gonna have to build some kind of rapport or something with the fellow here, and just sort of get to know them, get to know what you've done, so on and so forth. But you have to be there honestly too. You can't just say you have a buyer and whatever else. You got to get there. But you need to have those scripts.
Yeah, and I wanted to make a point too, because I had this happen at least twice last week. But do any of you guys have like something like this, just like in your car at your desk, that has a full buyer seller presentation like ready to go? I know we talk about this all the time. Do any of you guys like not? Who doesn't have one actually? I'd rather know that and be honest, because this
Come
might
on,
help
everybody
me.
put up their hand.
Okay, because this is something I teach you guys all the time, right? Is what to have in like a pre-list package or what to bring with you. And it happened to me twice last week. So first of all, you need to have a presentation or a script. Second of all, you need to have something to leave with the clients. We're going to talk about this. I might do this on our Wednesday training next week on how to do like a listing presentation. I'm finding, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but this year I've done probably about 6 listing presentations, and I'm noticing that the sellers are reacting they're different. They don't care about our presentations. Are you guys finding that, whoever's been on presentations? What I'm finding, is anyone finding that they are still working? Like I'm talking about like the you guys probably don't even do it, but the PowerPoint presentation that we give you guys, probably not doing. What are you guys typically doing when you go into the home? Is no one going in a home?
Having a tea, talking about emails.
Yeah, like just building rapport. Yeah. So I'm finding like I've even made it I tried to make it easier for you guys last year by not even having a PowerPoint, but having like a checklist of just talking points. I don't even think agents are doing that, but I'm also finding that the clients are so educated right now that they don't really care about why me, why my brokerage, blah, 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 blah. Like they kind of like black out during that time. But what I am finding that the best engagement is going through a consultation approach more so than anything, and having just a set of questions that you're asking the sellers. And I find that this is actually more comfortable for the agent plus the clients, because now you're not selling to them. You're just asking them questions like, what's motivating you to move right now? What's your ideal timeline? What are your must-haves? That would be like for a buyer. For a seller, it could be things like, is there a price that you need? Because that is a really important question to ask these days before you take a listing and go spend all your money on marketing and all of that. But just sitting down with them and asking like what their expectations are and figuring out where they're at in the process and what they know and what they don't know, it's going to actually help you guys have a better conversation with the client when you're at the home. Because now you're talking about like, what are your emotional concerns? What are your plans for the next house? Even if they're looking at buying a property, do you have a deposit? And I'm finding a lot of agents don't know what questions to ask the sellers. But I'm wondering would having a questionnaire help you guys to go to this? I did teach this at our back to school training, but probably nobody took it. But I think we need to start changing the approach to more of a consultation approach versus a selling approach. But you also do need to have your scripts. So you can see this one's all about why me as the agent. And I think that might be the older mentality of it. But right now, I think people need to go a little less threatening and less salesy and more questions and more figuring out deeper what the sellers want and the buyers want, and then figuring out what that strategy is, because each house is going to be completely different. But I think what a lot of agents are doing is we're not even going in with a script, like Claire's saying. Like we're not going in with a listing presentation, and we're not going in with questions, right? So we're just winging it, and I see it all the time, and agents don't panic until they have a seller that says, hey, can you come over tomorrow? And then they call me, and I'm like, this is like a full training session. But thinking we'll train this on Wednesday on what the consultation should actually look like. But other things that are important is like, what are you bringing to the appointment? I get this all the time, and I get agents say, oh, I'm going on an appointment in an hour and I don't have a seller's guide. And it's not like I've never given you guys seller's guides before. So another thing I'm thinking about having is like, this is what us girls would prepare, is having like a nice folder. You've got, they are right in Nelson's office or Ginny's, right? And I have them at the Ajax office too. I've given you guys, every month I send you guys a 1-pager of stats, which should be part of the package as well. We also have the listing like package, which you can bring this, some people are digital, but I think it's important to have like a package. You should also have a buyer or seller's guide, and it shouldn't be printed on this printer. You should have it like a nice magazine, thick colored copy. I give you guys the one from Canva, but even with me telling you guys this, I know you're not going to do it. So would it make it easier for you guys if we prepared these packages for you, and then you go on a buyer's presentation or a seller's presentation, and then you guys ask the girls to give you it, and you come to the office and you get it, and then you probably just have to print your CMA more than anything, because obviously the girls can't do that. It would come with a cost, but would you guys pay for that? And then you guys aren't scrambling and doing all that stuff. I don't know, man.
I pay for it now, like I pay Staples for the printing, I buy
Yeah.
folders off Etsy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if
Okay.
you're doing it for me,
I'm like,
it's easier.
because then I'm not sending Canva links to you guys to go edit them, and they're already done, and they're like, I used to do this when I was an assistant.
Would you just be C21 on this? Rather
Yeah,
than-
sorry, this is the Fulton Sisters one. I didn't have the printed other one, but I might get these printed off in magazine style, put them in here. If you guys ahead of time send the girls like your CMA and you want it printed in color, then we can do that on like your color code. But I think that would maybe help you guys, right? Or even if you have 2 of these in your car at all times, then you're not scrambling, and even having like the checklist and everything in here too. Like for this walks you through exactly like what to do when you walk in the door of the house. So it's more of a guide. So I think that's what might solve this problem of no one having a listing presentation, is if I just have it physically
I think
ready.
everybody, I don't know, does everybody have a listing presentation? We're making assumptions here, I don't know. Like, if you've got a listing, somebody says, come over and list my property, you guys have hopefully you have a presentation. And you know the difference between a presentation and a CMA?
Yes.
Because some people
don't.
believe that their listing presentation is their CMA.
And we're laughing, I know it's true.
And some people, I hate to say it here, some people, their CMA is a bunch of these things printed out. That's it. This one's sold for this one's sold for this one's available, this one's available. That's their listing presentation. And then the client says, what's your commission? And then there's panic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have to fix this.
So we had, so I don't know, it's an idea on this. You're telling me this isn't current now?
I have tried this presentation myself in front of a client, and it is weird to be like, why you should hire me? And then like they're like falling asleep. They're like, we're here for me, no? Like we're here for my house. And like you're gonna talk about these things, of course. You're gonna talk about your marketing and all of that, but in a less, here's my PowerPoint presentation, like sit down and listen to me type of way. I would rather ask the client questions, kind of like, what are your thoughts on an open house? What are your thoughts on staging? And then you present your marketing plan to them based off of the questions they've provided to you. So you're really just gathering more information than, like this one gives you 5 questions. The consultation is gonna be way more detailed. And then if they're like, I hate staging, blah, 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 then you go into your marketing and you're like, we don't do staging either. Like we'll clean it. And you kind of are doing the consult, then selling what it's gonna look like for that client.
Who here, I'm looking at some old folks here, who here has a listing presentation, like, 10 or 12 page listing presentation? And how often do you present it to the clients? Or is it just in your head now?
What I do is I ask them what's important to them, what's important about choosing the agent, because then you know what part to present.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily present the whole thing.
Yeah. And that's kind of like part of the consult questions I have too, is like, what's important to you? Have you sold a house and did you have a good experience or bad experience? Because
What are you looking for?
what do you want? Yeah. Yeah. Because some of them will just go straight to the point and they'll say, price is the only thing that's important, commission's the only thing important. And then you know what you're going to be talking about.
Would it be okay to then just send that pre-listing out of, things about myself as a pre-listing package?
Exactly. So you guys each should have, like, I know you guys use my buyer and seller guides, but you guys should each have your own branded buyer and seller guides that have your photos in it. I know like ours is aggressive, but like our photos are in it, our client testimonials are in it, exactly how we do it, like everything about us is in this guide. We had to pay a whole company to do this for us, but I do think it's important to have testimonials and things about you in there so they can read about you later.
Right, so would you send that first? Okay. So
No one's gonna do that, so no. No one, I don't think, has anyone sent a pre-list package ever? No. So I would say yes, but I know you're not gonna do it, but I do think you need to go to the presentation with something.
I was gonna say, I like to go with it and then like
Yeah.
leave it with them. And
Like-
have a little chat like about it, like this is for you. And
Yeah, like we give ours at the end of ours, so like whatever you're giving it to them, give it to them. I think Mike Ferries would say drop it off the day before and then do a confirmation. Obviously that would be the most ideal way, but I'm just trying to get you guys to have something. But yes, it's important. I think it's more important now to be like this. We can't wing it anymore like we were in the last few years because the sellers are now, like we just heard from people being interviewed by 13 agents are on a house now. So the sellers are interviewing a lot of people now.
That was like a $500,000 condo.
Yeah, that's stupid. Like you can go with the others, that's enough.
So we used to do like, again, the 10, 12-page listing presentation, and it was boiled down to one page. And now
I did it to that to try to make it as simple as possible.
And now we're going. So basically, your other listing presentation, it's in your head anyways. But so, what are your goals? Okay, here it says, what are your goals for? What's it say here? 5 Qs.
Yeah, it's what's most important to you in the sale, why now, what do you love most about the home, what work have you done, and what are your top 5 expectations for me?
So here we go. So you got what are your goals? Introduce myself. Why us? Why the brokerage? My role. Min support. Broker record. Preparing the property. Promoting the property. Pricing the property. Sign the contract. So this is the whole listing presentation that would normally take 20 minutes to go through that, and just did it in less than 30 seconds.
So I'm thinking you can add all of this why me, why my brokerage in a buyer's thing for them to read like later, so that you're not sitting at the couch boring the sellers with your about me section when they should be talking about the house.
Or I'm thinking that you internalize the questions and you talk to it in conversational rather than a presentation, but you touch all the bases through the conversation. But the only way you do that is you've got to yourself memorize the key points so that you can talk about it during the presentation itself.
And it's okay to not memorize, but I made this just to have it in front of you, so when you have, like, I'll put mine inside of the folder and I'm just reading it. I'm just reading it. Like, I'm not memorizing. Now I'm doing this consultation and I'm going through my checklist of questions, and then at the end I pull it out and then I give them this and I take this with me, but my whole script is on the paper. I think Mike Ferry also says put your script on the table with you. You don't have to go in memorizing it, but if you do it enough times, it does become natural. But the point is to have something. But I think this is the way that sellers are heading now. That was my main point. I think the presentation's shifting. I know we don't like to change things in real estate, but that could be me. Is anyone else seeing that? The consultation approach working better than a throw info at you? Okay. So maybe we'll talk about that on Wednesday then.
Well, I think it's going to add to this. If you're a buyer's agent and you want to become a listing agent, there are different roles, completely different roles. As a buying agent, you show a house to the buyer. You want to buy it? You want to buy it? You show them. You want to buy it? You want to buy it? Do you guys ever do that? All right. You never do that, right? Because you want them to think. You don't want to feel like you're pressuring them. You don't want to feel like you want them to make the decision. You want to buy the house they like. Generally, they'll come to you, say, "I love it," and then the way you go, right? So it's a different mindset when you're working with the buyers. Now you're working with the seller. Seller wants an SOB. I'm sorry. Seller wants they don't want a nice, fluffy. They want somebody that's going to get them the best price and be hard on them.
They want someone that's direct and will actually tell them things and be confident in the way they say it. Because we'll have clients that'll say, "Can you sell it for $800,000?" And you have to be like, "Yep, I think like yes, we can." Some agents will be like, "Oh, well, don't hold me to that." And then they're like, "Well, they need someone that's confident in it, whether it's going to sell for 800 or not." But you have to have confidence in what you're saying to these people too.
Yeah. So sometimes it's okay to go to Mr. Seller here. So obviously you don't want to sell this house. Why are we doing wasting our time? Right? Here's two pieces of paper. You either sign a mutual lease or sign a price change. I don't care. Either one's fine with me.
We do need some price changes.
Like that's a hard discussion. Have you ever done that, Kath? Or Aaron, you ever done that?
Don't take it in the first place.
Don't take it in the first place if it's too high? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Crazy. Should we play this one?
Okay, and just one with, so somebody said something here, I hope they don't mind if I repeat it. I won't say who they were, but so a property came up for sale and it was multiple offers and then all these people lost. There's probably a whole neighborhood of houses that are very similar to the house that came up for sale. Why not phone those guys and say, hey, there's a property down the street that got lots of activity. There's only one house to sell and lots of buyers. Have you ever thought about selling yourself? So if you're trying to target, who do I call? And then the next thing is, well, are the phone numbers in the do not call list? Or
That's the problem.
I would say yes, they are. So there's another thing to do there.
There could be. Or you might have to go directly to the house.
The next door neighbor, knock on the door and say, oh, by the way, this house has lots of activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Okay.
I just had a couple things. Carly wanted me to give a rule for everybody. We're getting a lot of complaints for agents on their listings if you guys are putting the buyers to verify measurements in the brokerage remarks. You're not allowed to do that. You will get in trouble. We're getting notices and agents they have to take it down. So don't put that in your listings anywhere. You have to do the measurements. Hopefully they're correct. And obviously the buyer has to do their due diligence, but it is our responsibility as the seller's agent to do it correctly. So if you are putting that in, stop it. You will get a notice now. They must have it on AI now because they find it so easily and they're sending it to us and then you're getting a complaint.
I saw a RICO report. Somebody complained to, not our agent, somebody complained to an agent saying that the measurements are wrong and they said, where'd you get the measurement? The agent said, I got it from the previous listing.
Yep. That's not allowed.
Guilty.
Just go get a laser measure, and in your listing appointment, you do the measurements while you're in the listing appointment, then you don't have to go back. So if it's all about saving time or whatever, do it while you're in the appointment and write it down in your phone on your notes, and then you have it for later and you don't have to go back and do the measurements. So you don't have to wait till after you get the listing to do the measurements, just do it at the appointment. And it kind of just keeps the things less weird when you've got your laser and you're writing down notes, so you're going with the assumptive close on that one too. I saw a really fun way to find a client this week. I don't know if one of you guys sent it to us or if we just found it, but thought it was a cute idea. But this agent got a house for their buyers. And what he did is he went around to all the neighbors and he had a welcome to the neighborhood card. And instead of I think people have done this for their clients where they get them new address letters to send to their client or to their friends and family. This kid, he was a really young guy. He went around with a card to all the neighbors saying, welcome to the neighborhood. And he had all the neighbors sign it and said, hey, my clients are moving into the neighborhood. Would you mind signing this card and welcoming them to the neighborhood? So it's like a birthday card with all the neighbors that signed it. And apparently a lot of the neighbors thought it was such a cute idea that they were they really liked it, his energy, and they asked him for his business card. And I think he got 2 listings out of it because they thought it was such a cute idea. So while he was doing just non-threatening, no sales, just getting here, Claire, can you sign this for my clients? And then they thought it was nice. So then he'd give the business card if they showed any interest in doing any business. But apparently that works. I thought that was a really creative idea too. So if you got some buyers moving into the neighborhood, maybe go get a little, a big card for your clients. And then your clients think it's cute too. So it's good for everybody. But that was a fun one. That's all I got. Otherwise, I've got Greenspan.
Okay, let me just finish here. So.
Yeah.
Just new condos, so we're getting some pre-construction condos. They're not closing. Has anybody had the pleasure yet?
Had the pleasure.
So I was reading one contract last week there, and hopefully it's true. I didn't read anything in there that talked about a clawback. If the buyer didn't close, I didn't see anything about a clawback. But I'm sure the lawyers will find something there when we see it. But they're doing it. Just so you know, so if you got a pre-construction, the client doesn't close, and then the builder wants that deposit back, or not deposit, wants their first payment back. So just be prepared for that if that happens to be one of you guys. But in these cases here, some of the sellers here have pre-construction condos that aren't selling for various reasons, either appraisal or they couldn't come up with the funds or whatever else. But what they're doing is they're paying money to get out. So not only are they just giving up their deposit, they got, this guy here's got a $300,000 deposit, I think it is.
Whoa.
I'll just read it. Okay, he saw a downtown condo with price tag less than $600,000. Okay, that was 400 square feet. Let me just get to the point of it. And some owners, they're not only are they giving up their deposit, they're paying another $50,000 to the buyer to take over the contract so they don't get sued. So they're out their deposit, plus they're paying the buyer to take over the contract. Right? So this is the guy that doesn't want to be sued, right? Because the builders are saying, we're going to sue you, we're going to sue. And legally what they can do, they can take the guy's $300,000 deposit, if in this case, and they can actually sell the property for less money and sue them for the difference in the less money as well on top of the deposit. You follow me there?
Yeah.
So if they had $1 million property, the guy's got $200,000 deposit, 20%. Gives up his 20%, builder takes it, and then the builder sells the property for $900,000. Then he's going to sue the buyer for the other $100,000, even though he already got $200,000. He's still going to sue for the other $100,000. So that's why these guys are prepared to pay to get out. So be careful with that. Vancouver's in the same situation we are. Vancouver sales dropped 30% month over month. That's from December to January. So that's a big number. Average price in there is about 1.1. We're now like almost $1 million. Vancouver's still 1.1. And they're talking about 3-year money. That's fine. I thought this was interesting here. This is a tenant thing. You guys get involved with tenants. So this is an irony. So it's a couple, and the lease was in the husband's name, not the wife's name, not the kid's name. The husband's name. Then the husband did something bad, and the cops had to come and had to get him taken out of the house. So he got removed from the house. Domestic violence, right? So then 5 months later, what he does, he goes to the landlord and cancels the lease. So now his wife and his kids there, the landlord shows up and says, your lease is expired, you got notice, get out. Imagine that. So there's a guy that got in trouble with the cops. Now he gets rid of the lease, and now the poor wife and the kids are sitting there with what's going on, right? It went to tribunal. Tribunal ruled in favor of the landlord 3 times. Then the tenant, and I'm telling you this because there's ways to go about it. Then the tenant finally went to the district court and got an appeal, and they appealed it again, and they disallowed the LTB ruling. So there are mechanisms if you've got tenants or landlords out there that have difficulties with the LTB. LTB is not the end. There's ways to even appeal those decisions if they have deep enough pockets, because you have to sue people, right? But that turned out okay. I mean, it turned out pretty bad, pretty sad. So there's a situation where the husband's, gets arrested or whatever else, and then he does this, and the family's out. That's awful. The husband in this case also said, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was kicking my wife out. I thought I was just getting myself off the lease. I thought she was going to remain on the lease. So the husband his intention wasn't to be bad with his family, but that the landlord took it the next step and tried to get rid of them. Landlord said to the wife, you can stay, but you're going to double the rent.
Yeah.
So the court said, no, not doing that. This. I was in Reddit the other day, just, I don't know, goofing around.
Get stuck in that platform.
I don't know why. And this guy here says, real estate recommendations for first-time home buyer condo. Waiting to buy a condo in Toronto downtown or potentially towards Scarborough. Don't want a new build. I wanted to talk to agents that have experience and lots of knowledge about condo fees, condo boards. So many agents in Toronto, hard to narrow them down. Please, somebody give me a call. I'm the first-time buyer.
So that's like almost like the new Facebook community group. Now it's Reddit.
So I
community
mentioned
group.
this before, right? So you almost have to, I don't know, just
Be there at the right time.
there it is, right?
Yeah. And there's not a lot of comments on it, surprisingly.
Nobody's going to ask for this guy's name?
Yeah, anyone want this lead?
He's in Scarborough?
You ever had a client that does a illegal basement apartment?
Oh.
So there's a counselor that got caught. I just thought I was curious here what it was. On January 13th, he got a notice. This guy's a counselor in Toronto, building an illegal basement in his own house.
Nice.
So the city writes him a letter, says, order to comply. And what they've ordered him to do is to vacate the basement apartment immediately, do not use it, and apply for a building permit they gave him 3 weeks to apply for a building permit, get the building permit by the end of the month, alternatively, remove everything and put it back to the original state. That's it. I thought they'd give a guy a fine, but I think this is the thing. So if he doesn't do any of these things, then the next step will be fines. So if you have a client that gets caught like that, then it's a simple thing, right? Just fix it.
Yeah.
I really don't know why are people building illegal basement apartments today?
Cheap.
What are you saving, 13%?
Permits and the like rules that I've heard from some landlords are like, it's pretty wild, the things that they're making them do and the cost to actually do these things now for legal basement permits.
Yeah.
Could get letters like that though, right? So I don't know. Anyways. I'm seeing a lot of stuff on my email about using AI to generate Instagram stuff and that. Everybody's figuring it too. Have you guys done that? You get lots of Instagram stuff, how to do Instagram posts for your listings, and you take pictures and it turns it into video and hits your picture on there, so you can do all that type of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that AI is doing. Is anybody taking advantage of that yet? Has anybody published anything that the public can see?
I've only seen Sora people,
Just the
but I think
Sora?
it's more for jokes. No one's doing it like seriously.
Well, I don't know, like so if it's like a video ads. So they're saying it's dynamic listing, so there's things out there. Variable rate mortgages. Okay, and back to power sales. Again, we had another one. We're starting to get more and more of these. Kari mentioned last week how we had, 400 and some odd thousand, or 400 power sale listings on MLS?
Yeah.
For the old guys, just used to be a bank would sell a power sale property, the bank would give the property free and clear of mortgages and any liens, and that was what the mortgage would do, and then your buyer would buy it and he gets the property. What's happening today, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, what's happening today is that a lot of mortgages out there are being given by private lenders, not banks. Okay, Brian, you're talking about, right? So a lot of private lenders are giving mortgages, and when those go power sale, what they're telling the buyers, I'm selling this property power sale, any liens or any taxes that are outstanding, it's your responsibility, not mine.
Yikes. It's like taxes, unpaid taxes.
Property taxes. So we've had one where the buyer was stuck and he had to pay $24,000 for back taxes just to get the deal to close. We had another one where the buyer had to pay $19,000 to be able to deal close. That buyer didn't have $19,000. That deal did not close. Therefore, we're in a legal situation on that one. We had one on the weekend. Somebody's trying to buy it, and they're saying that the buyer's responsible for the taxes and liens and work orders and the whole works, right? So if you're going to do that, you got to make it conditional upon lawyer's approval, and the lawyer's going to have to check the liens and check the other things that you can't check. You can't check liens. They've got to do sub-searches and things like that. So you've got to be very careful on the power of sales. Especially, as the banks are okay, but these private guys, big mess. And I don't know. Yeah, make it conditional upon lawyers. Or if you're going to read it very
Sucks because
clearly,
the
right?
lawyer did review it.
Power sale should be conditional upon board because they cross out of those paragraphs.
Yeah.
That the buyer might not even understand what's being crossed out, so. you have to-
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, they cross out all those pre-printed ones.
Now the one that just so you know, the one that we had the $19,000 that did not close, it was conditional upon the buyer's lawyer's approval, which was waived by the buyer.
Yikes.
So you already know what happened, right? What do you think happened? But the buyer didn't want to spend the $300 to get a lawyer, so they just waived it anyways. So be careful.
How long is even going to close?
Well, it's a power sale, and the
What about if they
and,
show
and
funds at the closing?
well, then that's a power sale. The short funds, then the lender's out. Too bad.
We had a situation that the seller was $200,000 under the water.
Yikes.
Yeah, so whoever holds that $200,000 loses it, all right? So they're gone. Not the first takes the first. Well, taxes first, commission first, taxes second, first mortgage, second mortgage, third mortgage. By the time it gets down to the second and third, there's nothing left, so they get zero. So, but the second and third also had the opportunity to make the first whole and take their place,
They'll buy the mortgage.
right? But they're still going to lose $200,000. So.
That's crazy. You had one question on Zoom, which I know we've talked about probably in the past on tenants. I'll do that before I do events, or do you have more?
I'll just keep going here. We talked about this last week. My condo downtown had a flood on the top floor, and the water went down to all the different floors. Be careful if your landlord, my insurance has to pay for it, not the building insurance, not the tenant insurance, the landlord's insurance. So you might have an uneducated landlord that says that the tenant's got to give me insurance. That means I don't need insurance. No, you do need insurance as well for the things like this. Everybody okay with that?
Okay, your question. We're seeing leases that you cannot say that tenants are responsible for lawn and snow removal of the property. Is that true? This is a Nelson question. If tenants are responsible for lawn and snow removal of the property, and a lease cannot say that they are responsible for lawn and snow removal. That is correct.
Supposed to have a separate maintenance agreement, and the tenant needs to be compensated
Yeah.
for that work.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard that. So yeah, the landlord cannot ask them for that, but you can have a separate snow and lawn or like property maintenance contract outlining what they're responsible for and that they're being compensated for it on a separate agreement, which may come off on the.
You can inflate the rent.
You can inflate the rent and then deduct it. Yeah, so there's ways. If you guys have questions on that, ask Nelson. He's got a separate form that you guys can send. I think if the landlord is asking the tenants, then the landlord should be providing all of that equipment as well. But
So if it's silent, like you do a lease and there's nobody talks anything about the maintenance, then it's the landlord's responsibility, both lawn and snow.
Yep. Okay. Ready for events? And then we're gonna do Fran's. But just a heads up, so again, Wednesday I'm gonna do some training at the new Ajax office on the listing and buyer consultation. So I'll send notice for that. That'll be at 11 a.m. I don't know what style I'm gonna do. It'll probably be presentation, but a little bit of roundtable. But I think they're doing the meeting at the Ajax office. I don't know if they can type or anything, but we have it playing over there today. But if you guys wanna do some training at the new office, we'll be there. We did send out an update about awards. We are postponing it. We had it ready for February 26th, but that's not gonna be happening now. So we are in the middle of trying to find the next date for it. April is like the earliest that we've heard from our current one, but we're trying to find an earlier date with another venue. So stay tuned. So if you did RSVP, do not attend on February 26th to Parkview Manor. So we'll give you guys some more updates when we have that. I think that's all I have for that. Now the final thing I wanted to show you guys was from our team at Fidus Mortgages. They've got some exciting stuff that we're going to be talking to you guys about. Maybe we'll play the video first or talk first? Okay, we have a video for you guys. I think I put it in the WhatsApp group too, but.
What actually sparked you to say, no, I want to do this again and not just put on another event, but continue the momentum for them? Why did you decide to embark on that for them?
This year is a very tough year. Like last couple of years have been very tough years, and I am seeing people are losing the momentum. They're losing the mindset, and I have seen is impacting their family. I truly believe in giving, and the partners who I work with, they really support my business. We are trying to impact 40 committed people to get them off the ground. Or if they're off the ground, take them to the next level.
Basically offering, you guys know David Greenspan, right? We've had him speak at a few of our brokerage events. But basically what they're doing is they're going to be holding a virtual group training calls starting March 26th. It's going to be for 6 months, every 2 weeks. Oh, that's kind of nice, actually. I thought it was every week. So every other week, which is kind of more maintainable, I think. The regular cost of this, so you're going to be doing like different things such as creating structure and consistency in your daily and weekly activities. You're going to talk about time management, follow-up and accountability, talk about lead generation, marketing, and client experience systems, and really just kind of like talk about how you can focus on income-producing activities over that time. So you guys have 20 spots remaining, I see, not 40? 20. And the regular cost of it's $1,200. But Varan and his team is being very gracious and offering to cover 50% of that cost, so $600 of it. So this is only going to cost you guys $600, $100 a month, for basically every week having coaching sessions with David online. So I think it's a really good program. I think everyone should be investing in some sort of education every single year, but I like that it lasts longer so that you guys feel like you're part of a longer project, and the cost is pretty unbeatable, I would say, to be honest, but they call you to sign up?
Yeah, they can email me, call me.
Okay. Is anyone interested? I know I had a few people message me today, actually, that were going to reach out to you, so hopefully they'll sign up. But I hope that some of you guys sign up for that, because I think that's a really awesome offering for you guys.
Pretty much take you from spring market to the fall market.
Yeah, which is really good. Any questions on that? So I guess if you're interested, you can email Varan at FitusMortgages.ca, and you guys will, or just call Varan. Do you have thoughts on this?
I do.
I know. I would love to hear them.
Who here is at home too? Who here has been to a professional training program before? And not like a free day event.
We did the Chris Leader might have been the last one we did as an office, maybe, which was quite a few years ago, actually.
I mean, 100 years ago, we used to do sweat hogs, right? 100 years ago, we were paying back then $1,000, I think it was, back then for 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was probably the best program that the agents went through. That program, and even today, they'll say it was the best program they ever went through. All right. And the only problem I had with it was that we probably put through maybe, I don't know, probably 150 people went through the program there, but it worked, but they stopped doing it for some reason. So, anyways, somebody said the other day there they went to a trainer, and the trainer said something. And he says, Katie's been saying this now for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing new. It's nothing like they're not going to teach you anything new that we haven't already talked about. What it will do though, maybe get you to actually do it. For $600, I think that is cheap. Probably is it $600?
Well, it's $1,200. Just for them, it's $600.
So I think it's a great thing. If you're brand new, or you've been in the business for a long time, if you're in a funk and you're in a bit of a what do we do, or this doesn't work, or you're whatever you're doing there, this will get you out of that hole. When does it start?
Starts March 26th for 6 months.
Okay, so you've got some time to think about it there, but I think everybody should have some type of training there that they're paying for or makes you responsible. And the whole thing is, when you pay for it, I mean, you could give it for free, but you know what? People free, and well, maybe I'll show up, maybe I won't. But if you're paying for it, maybe I will. So I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's psychology, right?
Yeah.
But it's still, $200 is a good plan.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, just to get you motivated, get the juices going, just to think about things and talk to other people that are doing the same thing. That to me, it's positive all over the place. So.
Yeah, and it's virtual.
It's virtual, so there's no reason that you're not. We used to drive used to go to Triumph Hotel. Remember that?
We did Cedar Brae Golf Course, I think, with Chris Leader every week too. But I think a lot of people got some good stuff out of that program. But
that's right too. Yeah.
Either way, you guys all have a nice small group. There's only 40 agents, so it's not like so you guys may even just be able to network with each other too. But only 20 of you guys. You guys filled it up quick.
I can open up more.
Oh. Fair. Okay, so if you guys are interested in that, let us know. I like David. David's spoken at a lot of our events. He's very high energy, so he's not going to bore you. I think he's up to date with what's going on in today's world as well. He's a younger guy, but I like him.
He also talking about AI. I think.
Yeah,
talking about AI.
He'll probably have Ron. I bet he has some speakers probably come in and help him out too. But If you guys have never watched him and you want to know about him first, maybe just go find him on Instagram. I think Mindshare 101 is his main thing. He's the guy that runs the Kits program too, with the mail outs and calendars and stuff. Cool. So that's all.
Anybody have any property you want to talk about? Listings? No. Buyers? No. I have a buyer that wants something. I have a buyer that wants what? Condo where? Vaughan. Who's got a condo in Vaughan? Huh?
Green Park is offering 30 months mortgage free if somebody is buying it.
13 months mortgage free?
30, yeah.
30.
Oh, 30. Woo. What? How much are they selling those units for?
But you can negotiate. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they are free to.
Is it a house, like freehold?
No, it's a
Condo. It's a condo? Greenfield, they're doing condos now too? Okay.
Wow.
It's a good deal. It's a good deal.
30 months is a good deal, but it depends.
Yeah, it depends on the price.
Depends on the price, right?
Yeah. Crazy. Oh yeah, no meeting next Monday, no training next Monday because we have Family Day long weekend.
Oh,
Which is-
rats.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Okay, everybody. Thank you.